Hey, beer nerds, how's it going tonight? We're live here in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. It's very snowy here tonight, which kind of sucks. So we're stuck inside in the middle of April. So we decided why not come on live stream and do one of the cool beer tag things that's been going around for a while. But first we got to pour a beer. So
Hey,
Brenda, you get started.
good
I'm
news.
gonna I'm
I
gonna
have
pull up
beer.
I'm gonna pull up our chat here. So go for it.
Today we've got the Capital Brewery Gartenbrau Munich Dark out of Madison, directly out of Madison, right?
Yeah, Madison, Wisconsin. Yeah, that beer is super tasty. So I'm very excited to get your thoughts on it.
I was gonna say you're
On
very
wine
excited for
here.
my beer.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
am excited for your
That's
beer. Why
good.
not? It's good stuff.
You make it sound like you're going to get some.
And you know what? It's not. I want some. And it's not a super duper sour beer. So, that does make me a little bit more excited.
You're spoiling it.
All right. So, what do you think of that one?
I haven't tasted it yet, but I
No?
know it's delicious.
Oh, well.
I poured like I've never poured a beer before. So I'm having a wee bit of a waiting issue, and my patience is a little thin.
A little heady.
Just a little, but the foam is so good on this one, I don't even mind.
Well, while you dig into that, I'm just having a Guinness out of the can, which is one of the coolest beers because
there's a widget.
Yeah, it's got the widget inside here to give it that cool head. But I don't really understand quite what it is, but it's like a ping pong ball with some holes in it, I think. I think that's what they do. And I just pour it like this because I'm some sort of weirdo who just wants to
watch him spill it all over the white carpet.
Watch
it.
Oh! No way. Look at how beautifully poured that beer is.
That actually wasn't bad.
Yeah, see, look at that.
I'm actually kind of impressed.
And then you get that nice, lovely, creamy head. It just look. You're looking at it.
Pretty.
You're looking at it so longingly.
I'm very longing.
Mm.
You're gonna run it down the side
of
the can.
You can maybe if I hold this in front of our microphone, you can hear the widget inside there, just hanging out.
You know that at one point inspired me to steal someone's car keys to key open my can on the shores of Loch Ness to figure out what was in the Guinness can.
Oh yeah, did you think it was something weird?
I had no idea. I'd never had like an actual can of Guinness. I'd only ever had it on tap during St. Patrick's Day.
Sure.
How was I supposed to know there was a thing in the bottom? And then once I found out there was a thing in the bottom, I had to figure out what the thing was.
Right, yeah.
So Gage and I keyed open a Guinness can.
Well, good. Yeah.
Which is the point when Nessie got the ducks. Now you know. This whole story comes full circle.
Oh, goodness. We are off to a great start already. So how's your beer anyway?
It's actually very delicious. It's really clean, really malty.
That's a Dunkel, right? That's what it says on there?
Yes.
So I'm getting that one right. Yeah.
Styled after a traditional European Dunkel lager with dark caramel malt flavors with a smooth, dry finish. One of our original Gartenbrau beers, Capital Dark is our most award-winning beer and still remains an all-time favorite.
Oh yeah.
And as a whole, Capital is kind of hit and miss with me. They have a couple profiles that I'm not the biggest fan of.
Sure.
But their dark beers always nail it.
Yeah, they do a lot of the German dark lagers,
which is
those
really what I
tasty.
want.
Yeah, absolutely.
How's your Guinness? Perfectly poured and wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. It's got that signature delicious looking creamy head and then that just velvety black body. It's got that nice medium body to it, very creamy. I find out of the can as opposed to the extra cold taps or the really cold taps, you get a lot more of the actual hops in Guinness out of the can.
Why do you think I like the extra cold tap?
Yeah, well, it's not like it's over the top hoppy, but it's definitely hoppier, I think is the point.
I will grant you that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so everybody's seen this by now if you're part of the BrewTube community, but we have had a video tag going around for a while, this time on what your top 5 favorite beer styles are. I thought it would be pretty boring to just get on here and ramble to myself. Even though this is like the best way for introverts to be extroverted is YouTube, because
Alone?
you can literally, you can literally talk to hundreds of people while being completely alone. But I decided to invite Ms. Numbers on with me, Brenda. So we're gonna give this a shot. So we're gonna count down our top five favorite beer styles. We're gonna go 5-1. Brenda, you wanted me to kick it off, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So
I
I
have
got
surprises.
Oh, you have surprises. So, um, my number 5 style is an IPA, and I know that's a really like boring choice. That's a super lame standard beer nerd response, but as I get more and more into beer, I like trying to chase down certain hop profiles, things like that. And then it really is cool to have a style that is so popular that basically everyone brews one, so that you can walk into a brewery and really compare and contrast, what a certain brewer brings to the table and what they're really trying to pull out that's really unique. So I think that's part of the IPA experience too, is that everyone makes one, so you get to try one from everybody. And that's what I think is really cool about them too.
So how much did your hop episode ruin your life when you realized that hop style is really based on where it grows rather than what it is?
Oh, the terroir?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So that was a Beer by the Numbers podcast episode where I covered, elements in hop growing that can affect the flavor profiles and yields too, but mostly the flavor profiles. But yeah, it definitely is. It was really cool to learn that they basically just mix big batches of hops together to kind of balance out all those different changes. So that's kind of cool.
Did that kind of ruin the smash IPAs for you?
I haven't thought about a smash since I did that episode, but you kind of have a point there.
Oh, it totally ruined it for me.
maybe that does kind of ruin smash beers when you're like, I really want to pull out the essence of this hop. Well, actually, you might be pulling out just the essence of one single hop from a certain farm in a certain growing season. So,
and you might be entirely incapable of replicating that exact profile.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you might be right.
Even growing season to growing season.
I guess it depends, where you're going to end up getting the hops. Because if you still get them if you get a smash beer and you do it from a hop dealer, you're still getting a big mix.
Right.
So maybe you can, maybe you can't. But yeah, all right. So what's your number 5?
Oh, we're doing it that way. I thought you were gonna go through your 5, and then I'd go through my 5.
No. We're counting up, man. Let's go.
I think you should go through your 5.
You want me to go through all mine? Okay. All right. So my number 4 is a dry Irish stout, and conveniently, I'm drinking one right here. So, but it's got just so much going for it. So I already described the Guinness, the nice creamy head, the silky black body, the nice mouthfeel, brings a ton of malt flavor to the table without being, super particular into one flavor, and then doesn't really overwhelm you with a lot of hops or a lot of fancy other things. So I think it's just one of the best all around beers. So I think that's why I got that going at my number 4 spot. Oh, hello there in Ottawa. Nice to see you. We might be getting more snow than Ottawa right now.
Is it still snowing there too?
No. Yeah, are you guys still getting snow? My number 3 beer style is the Märzen or Oktoberfest beer. I love Oktoberfest. First of all, my fall is my favorite time of year. I love when the weather starts to turn. Märzen's just kind of remind me of that sunny fall day with all the tree color, the crisp, cool nights, and we're big American football fans, so we're out tailgating a lot of weekends during the fall. So Oktoberfest just kind of fits into that frame of mind for me, and I love the caramely flavors, but also it's still got that little bit of crispness being a lagered beer. So all around just a great style, and I think one of the best seasonal styles for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very popular too. So it's another one of those beers you can kind of compare and contrast across breweries. So that's really cool.
Well, and there's something to be said for a seasonal style that's steeped in tradition and isn't just, oh, here's our kind of novelty seasonal beer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love me a summer shandy, but.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's the cool thing. It's got that great story behind it too. And of course, the big beer festival kind of associated with it. My number 2 style is a saison, and yeah, you're already rolling your eyes. She's already rolling her eyes. Help me out here. But saisons are the style that got me into craft beer, so and away from the standard American light lagers. I know saisons kind of have that unique yeast profile flavor. And I know for a lot of, and it's kind of like one of those flavors that's really divisive amongst drinkers, I think. Kind of like the classic foodie example is cilantro.
Right.
The flavor of cilantro is really divisive amongst people. So,
boy, do I have some divisive beers for you.
Yeah.
I say divisive, so we're already divisive or divisive twice.
All right. Anyway, I understand that saison yeast profile is something that not everyone really likes, but I absolutely love it. I also think it is a great gateway style for anybody, not just for me to get into beer personally, but for anybody looking to dive into the weird and wacky world of Belgian beers. That is where you want to start, is that lovely saison. They're pretty refreshing. They're not totally like a German or a lagered beer, but they got a little bit more body, a little bit going on in there.
How's your nitro treating you?
Yeah, I know. And then you could get really nerdy into the saisons too, because there are so many different. Yeah, I know. She's pointing at me already. Well, I do claim to be the beer nerd, so
this is your gig.
Yeah, that's true. And then my number 1 style is the Kolsch, which is
all right.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite beer because it fits a very, very particular need and a time of year. So American craft brewers has kind of, they've revived the Kolsch as a summer seasonal. And I think they're the best seasonal beer out there. This beer has a really cool history because it's made by brewmasters in Cologne, Germany. And when the lagering technique started to spread around Germany, it made its way to Cologne, where the brewmasters were there. You seem so interested.
I am so interested.
Okay, good,
Carry on.
Good. The brewmasters there saw these cool lagered beers, these pilsners, come down from the mountain towns, and they're like, you know what? These are good, but I bet if we take a couple of these lagering techniques and apply them to our really awesome golden ales, we're going to make the best beer in the world. And so what they did was they took their traditional golden ale recipes and then they conditioned them like they were a lager beer, but they still used the top fermenting ale yeast. So what you're left with is this maltier, a little bit more bodied than a pilsner, but it still brings a ton of that refreshing summer clarity. And what I really, really love about Kolsch's is they get that lovely, soft, pillowy head. Mm-hmm. Whereas, pilsners kind of have a little bit of a coarser head that kind of flattens out pretty quick because they're very, very carbed internally. Those Kolsch's get that nice, soft, pillowy head that sticks around for a while because they use the ale yeast and then condition like a lager. So, yeah, it's really cool. And they're just so refreshing. They brew them a lot here in the U.S. in the summer. And if you see me outside drinking a beer in the summer, it's probably going to be a Kolsch. I'm probably going to drink a pint in about 15 minutes and immediately head back to the bar for another one because I will just suck those down.
Well, you need to drink it before it gets warm.
Yeah, they're so good. They're so good. So that's my number 1 beer style, the number 1. So
that's kind of a sneaky number 1, but I like it.
Hey, speaking of lagering temps, our friend from Ottawa is, we're at temps hovering around the freezing point. So he says perfect room for lagering, and I agree. Yeah, let's go.
I wish we had rain. Just the rain.
Yeah.
Not the freezing.
Yeah.
These
I
are the
know.
wrong April showers.
All right, so you had me go through all mine. Let's hear yours.
Now for something completely different. I'll start normal. Don't worry. Speaking of Pilsners,
Okay.
my number 5 beer is the Czech Pils.
Oh, the Czech.
I went a little different.
Sure.
I tend to like the flavor. Slightly more of a Czech Bohemian Pils than I do a German Pils. So overall, just a really light, clear, clean style. It's kind of the same thing you were talking about with the Kolsch. If I just want to drink a beer that I know I'm going to enjoy, Czech Pils is where I go. And it's just far enough off of the standard German that most people, if you're brewing a Czech Pils, it tends to be good.
So are you there with Vienna lagers too?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. You could throw those kind of in the mix.
Yeah, I could mix in a Vienna lager.
Isn't it weird that the town of Pilsen is a Czech town where the Pilsner was created? But now we have to differentiate because the German Pilsner became the really popular one. So now we have to call a Czech Pils a Czech Pils.
I have to be very specific now.
Yeah.
I need to know what I want.
Interesting little bit of history. Although that might be largely because the Germans, had all those immigrants move to various parts around the world.
That might have done it.
Yeah.
Well, we can discuss the fact that every beer I had was a Budweiser.
Yeah.
While I was in the Czech Republic, and I was terribly confused.
Yeah, Budweiser and Budweiser, not
two very different things.
Not the same beers.
Did not understand. So I actually wrote down a couple favorites of mine for all of my styles. So my favorites for the Czech Pils, first off, just cheap Czech Pilsners I don't know the names of and I can't pronounce because I had it first in Prague. So that's what I kind of learned the style on. Also, the Lagunitas Pils I love, and a local brewery, Bauhaus, does wonder stuff.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Bauhaus has an amazing YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Where they make all of these really funny beers or videos introducing their beers. So if
they're
you search,
amazing.
Don't leave right now. Wait until we're done. But
write it down.
Yep, you can write down or just type it in the search bar, but don't click search. Bauhaus Brew Labs. They have a lot of really funny beer commercials that they make for all their beers.
If you've ever needed a morph suit in your life,
yeah,
Bauhaus has got the channel for you. So number 4, this is gonna sound really familiar, is the Dry Irish Stout.
Oh, there it is again. Yep,
so I kind of target it for its roasty, toasty, light bodiedness as compared to some of the other sweeter stout styles and a lot of those add-ins. So obviously you've got the big 3. Guinness, Murphy's, and Beamish. I like all of them. Some of my other favorites, Breckenridge's Nitro Dry Irish, which is another one that I found is really great out of a can.
Oh, okay.
And I'm usually very skeptical about stouts out of cans, but there you have it. And another local one, Finnegan's Dead Irish Poet.
Oh, yes.
Had our fair share of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now now for something completely different. Here's where Brenda's normalcy departs and Ryan gets very skeptical and makes this face.
Yeah.
So my number 3, I described as my weird friendship ender.
Friendship ender.
Friendship ender.
Oh man. Okay, let's hear it.
I have literally ruined friendships, giving people tastes of this beer and not telling them what they're drinking beforehand.
It's that hardcore. So it must be some huge barley wine or something, right?
It's the Lichtenhainer.
Lichtenhainer.
And if you're all out there going, what on God's green earth is a Lichtenhainer? Let me tell you what.
She's about to drop some obscure beer nerd knowledge right here.
It's kind of referred to as an archaic sour beer style, but it's made with smoked barley.
Okay.
So it's got all of those sour notes, that tartness, the acerbity, and also tastes vaguely like smoked meat. If you've ever needed a beer that kind of tastes like a ham hock, a Lichtenhainer is for you. I know, you didn't think you needed a beer that tastes like a ham hock, but
I tend to just eat the ham with the beer.
You could just skip over a step.
Just... liquid bread. They call beer liquid bread. So now we got liquid ham on our countdown here.
So this is one that it may not be popular and I may not find it a lot, but it's on the list purely for the top 3 are, if it's on a beer list, what am I guaranteed to go, yes, that one. I need that.
Sure.
So a couple breweries around here, Fair State and Bent Brewstillery, ventured into this terrifying territory. And they actually make a lot of my favorite of the next top 3.
Okay.
So number 2, we went a little more sane and normal, the Berliner Weiss.
Oh, yes. That's another good, generally around in the summer, but some people brew them a little longer. Yeah.
Well, and this is a tart wheat beer. I think there may be a hop in it somewhere, possibly. The tartness makes up for itself. But it's often served with varieties of flavored syrups, which really change the profile.
That's right.
So one of my favorite servings is to get a flight of the same Berliner Weiss and have plain and then 2 flavored syrups.
Yeah. There's one brewery around here that does that, right?
It's Urban Growler.
Urban Growler.
Delicious.
Yeah, great.
And a couple of my other favorites included Brewdog's B-side. We had the Raspberry Blitz that really just tasted like raspberry is a really common flavor for Berliners.
Right.
It's such a perfect pairing.
Yep.
And also Forager out of Rochester does a Twisted Zweig series. And we've done a black currant one, a forest fruits, all sorts of crazy wonderfulness. So number 1 is my catch-all sour beer category, the American Wild Ale. And I can't tell you what it means because nobody really knows.
Yeah. I think catch-all is a great description of that. Maybe
generally funky, varies greatly. You can get an American Wild Ale style that's anything from a Belgian lambic inspired to a crazy barrel aged dark sour full of malt. And cheddar cheese happens a lot. Things happen in the American Wild Ale category. Some of my favorite examples, and I went a little broader on my spectrum here, the Lips of Faith series from New Belgium are actually classified as American Wild Ales, as well as Surly's Pentagram.
Oh, yes. Surly. Yeah, absolutely.
And even those 2 beers in and of themselves are entirely different from one another.
Right. Yeah.
So if that shows you a little of the diversity of this style, it is broad.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as is tradition in these tag videos, I don't know who started it, but we have to tag 3 other people. I went ahead and picked them out for us.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
this is your job.
Yeah, that's right. It is. So, first person I wanted to tag was Tim over at 8-Bit Chicken. He's a good friend of the channel. Makes some great home brewing as well as gardening and kind of urban, suburban homesteading content. So he does a lot of great stuff. Second is the Drunken One down in Houston. Yeah, he likes to come on and party with us on live streams, or mostly I think
we party with him. So.
Yeah, that's right. And then finally is Brian at Thrash Metal Homebrew too.
Yay.
Yeah, we like Brian too. So he's got a lot of great homebrew content as well. So after the stream's over, I'll put links to their channels in the description. But before we go, Brenda shared with me a great beer article today.
Oh,
yeah, that I wanted to tell everybody about. Ever since I started home brewing and getting into beer in general, people have been asking me, "Hey Ryan, when's the brewery opening?"
Weekly.
Yeah, it happens every month or so. I mostly think it's just because they want a place to go drink where they think they can get free beer.
I mean, our house works for this.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't see why they don't just come over and drink homebrew, but apparently they want to do it at a bar, so whatever. But yeah, so I get that question all the time, and I'm like, no, it's a lot of work. Number 2, my beer is not great. It's fine. It's good to drink, but it's not great. It's not commercial quality. And 3, I don't have the money to start this or go to a bank or whatever. So yeah, but Brenda found this great article that was posted on Summit Brewing Company's blog, which is a local brewery near us. And they kind of modeled it after an Onion article. Like they titled it, "Area Man Briefly Gets into Homebrewing, Decides Not to Open a Brewery." And so they got that great Onion article title. And this article is just so great. So I'm going to read some of it here. Noting that he's frequently beset by self-doubt and not terribly experienced in brewing beer, Brian Walters, 29, insists he's just not going to open a brewery like everyone else is doing right now.
Fair.
Listen, he says, stroking his beard. I know I check all the boxes. I'm a guy, I'm a millennial, I like craft beer, and my girlfriend, well, my ex-girlfriend, she gave me a homebrewing kit like 2 years ago. But that doesn't mean I have to open my own brewery, right?
Nope, it's implied when you open the kit.
That's right. He continues, I mean, have you seen the new places opening up? Fancy light fixtures, exposed brick, hand-painted murals, and reclaimed wood? That stuff is expensive, and I know next to nothing about raising money or running a business. Rather than pursue a career change or become an entre-brewer, Walter says he'll probably stick with his job at the county for a while. He says the benefits are decent. Fridays he can go home at 3, and his boss lets everyone take beer from the office fridge. I love craft beer, okay, Walter says, but mine just isn't as good as the other stuff out there. So to everyone who keeps asking me to open up a brewery, the answer is no, and I will direct you to the Summit blog, and I will post a link in the description once the live stream is over. So there you go. I'm not going to open a brewery. I love beer on YouTube. It's been so great. Hello from Norway. Yes, hello. We're here in Minnesota. We're getting some snow. I hope at least Norway has snow on the ground, but you never know. We're just so tired of it in the middle of April, getting another 6 inches of snow. But
these are not the April showers I wanted.
Anyway, it keeps us, we're
drinking?
Inside, keeps us in drinking. That's right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. That was our top 5 beer styles. I really appreciate it.
10.
Again, this has been Ryan
and Brenda
with Beer by the Numbers, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.